Treasurer Jim Chalmers has been running his own nuclear scare campaign in Peter Dutton's seat of Dickson this week.
To make sure that we're not doing what Peter Dutton wants to do, which is to build a nuclear reactor in the suburbs of his local community.
The Libs have pushed back on this claim, saying Dickson was never one of the 7 sites the coalition has identified for a nuclear reactor site. So, if Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers is telling a porky pie, and it looks like he is, how does this stack up to the biggest fibs told during this federal election? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's count them down. Starting at number 5 with this claim by Peter Dutton.
We have an opportunity, in my judgment, to start negotiations with the United States straight away. I think there can be a deal done very quickly.
Get a better deal from Trump on tariffs when the only country that did better than Australia was Russia? Yeah, right. Now, at number 4, here's Labor's recycled Mediscare campaign.
What will Peter Dutton cut to fund his $600 billion nuclear plan? He'll start with the 36 new free Medicare urgent care clinics in New South Wales. He cuts, you pay.
Now, in case you're wondering, the coalition has repeatedly committed to those urgent care clinics, which makes that Labor claim pretty bogus. So, moving on to number 3, and it's actually Jim Chalmers' radioactive claim about the seat of Dickson, which, of course, is just a shameless attempt to unseat Peter Dutton. At number 2 on this list of the top 5 lies during the campaign, it's every time the Liberal Party has said they're not taking a leaf from Donald Trump's playbook.
I'm so proud to be able to stand beside and to ensure that we can make Australia great again.
Like, come on, I rest my case. Which means we're now up to the number 1 biggest lie during this 2025 federal election. To be honest, it's not even close.
I stepped back 1 step. I didn't fall off the stage.
We're at the pointy end of this election campaign. 4 more sleeps till Australia goes to the ballot box. But despite everything that's happened so far, the major parties still have failed to separate from each other, and the possibility of a minority government is looking very likely. But what exactly does that mean? Federal politics editor Katina Curtis joins me now. Katina, can you explain to us what is a minority government?
So minority government is when the government doesn't command in their own right more than half of the seats in the House of Representatives. So after this election, there'll be 150 seats in the House of Reps. There was 151 in the last Parliament, but we've lost 1 overall. So basically you need 76 seats because you need half plus 1 because you have to be able to supply a speaker as well. So that's a majority in the Parliament. Now, Labor has a pretty slim majority. They are going into this election with only 78 seats. So there's not that much leeway for, losing 1 or 2 here and not picking up anything to compensate. The coalition has a much bigger hurdle to jump to get a majority government. It would need to win about 20 seats, which I don't think anyone, or just over 20 seats, which I don't think anyone is thinking will happen. The sort of most optimistic assumptions I've seen have been somewhere between about 10 and 15 seats. But yeah, basically, if neither major party gets an outright majority of the House, then they need to negotiate with the crossbenchers, or theoretically, they could negotiate with the other major party, although it probably wouldn't happen, to form a government and be able to give the Governor-General confidence that they had the support of the House to become the Prime Minister.
As much as Peter Dutton covets the top job in Australian politics, I think there's one thing that he's even more envious of. And who can blame the opposition leader? That kid from the Dragons Footy Club on the south coast of New South Wales has one of the all-time great mullets. But any joy Peter Dutton may have got from the mullet kid was short-lived, because some union buffheads rocked up to put on an impromptu skit about the dangers of nuclear energy.
3 protesters turned up in full hazmat gear with a fake Geiger counter.
Look, it's not exactly Shakespeare, is it? So I can see why locals were unimpressed that these hijinks upstaged Dutton's $3.5 million pledge to the footy club.
Hey, listen. That's okay.
We're here for juniors.
Okay, sorry, mate. We're just checking the radiation.
The protesters were so disruptive, Peter Dutton had to move a planned press conference a couple of hours down the road. And while he may have escaped those protesters in the end, the nuclear issue is definitely still hanging around and could hurt his chances at the ballot box. And that means while we can't grant his wish to be PM, we can make this dream come true.